First off, I'd like to introduce my audience members, Marissa Gonzalez, Ms. Evelyn Rodriguez, and Eduardo Castaneda. I'd like to start off with a story I had back in high school. We were out at a party on the west side of town, and all of us had been drinking probably since about 5 o'clock, and we had to get back home, and we lived about 15 minutes away from the party that we were at, and we needed a driver. So we asked around, and one of our guys volunteered, and he seemed probably the soberest out of everybody. So we went ahead and let him be the driver. When we first took off, he looked sober until we're heading into town, and he started swerving off into the road, into like the dirt patches, and the car started losing a little bit of traction, and we kind of got scared, but didn't think much about it. So we went into town near our houses, and we were getting near until one of our friends called us to go back because I guess the party had been good, and we obviously knew that the driver wasn't good enough to drive back, but all of us being intoxicated, it wasn't a good idea for any of us to drive. So we headed back towards the west side of town, and as we were going back towards that end of town, there's a spot where it basically, it's a stop sign, and it's a T, which is a train track, a stop sign, and a road on the opposite side. And so as we're coming down that road, we're going, the speed limit there is about 30 miles an hour at the most, and we're going about 70 miles an hour. And as we turned down that road, and we were coming up the stop sign, me and my friend Manuel were in the back, basically looking at each other, knowing that we should be going about 30 miles an hour. There's a stop sign coming out, and it's going to go into a dip into the train tracks. And the two linemen from our football team were in the front, and me and the running back were in the back. And as we were approaching, we got closer and closer to the stop sign, and we realized that this was exactly where we shouldn't be going this fast. And we told them to stop, didn't stop. We came up to the stop sign, and next thing we know, we dip down and hit the train tracks, and we go flying over the train tracks into the opposite road. And my two friends were in the front. Both of them were big boys. They both airbags deployed. Me and my friend in the back hit our heads against the back of their headrests, and we were bleeding crazy amount. My two friends in the front were banged up real bad. The car was totaled. We didn't know what to do. We panicked. We left it like it was, and left the scene. And repercussions of this were, luckily nobody had a DWI, MIP, or anything. But we did. One of my friends, the one that was in the passenger seat, did end up going blind out of one of his eyes. And the doctor told him basically if either one of your friends in the back or in the front seat, they would have died on impact. So me and my friend were kind of lucky to be in the back and have the big guys in the front. Since then, I've kind of thought about the consequences of it. 10,839 people die a year with drinking and driving related accidents, and that's basically about one person in every 50 minutes. The violations that come along with this type are DWI, DUI, which in Texas can come out to be about $5,000 at maximum as a fine. Other consequences that could come from this would be, jail time, of course. One of the biggest ones in the case of a college student would be not being able to get a job because the DWI, DUI doesn't get taken off of your record. So if the more common places that you find this is in college, where it's easy access, you easily have underage drinking from the age of 18 all the way to 26, 24. You have there's no specific gender or race or anything that really specifies who drinks. And reasons I guess people would be drinking would because when you're drinking you feel invincible. When you're drinking with a group of friends, you really don't know who's sober enough to not be driving. And usually nobody should be driving, and somebody ends up driving thinking they're the soberest, and as in our case could cause injury, maybe even death. But after going through things like this, people think about what would be a way to prevent this, and ways to prevent it would be, before you even go out, finding a designated driver, not drinking too much, but then at the same time you have to worry about, don't think that just because you think you can pass a breathalyzer, you'll be able to, drive. If you don't think you can drive or maneuver any machinery, don't do it. Stay at the person's house that you went to. In conclusion, I would have to say, drink responsibly. Don't drink and act as if you're on top of the world when you're drunk. Know your senses. Know what you can and can't do under the influence, and make the right decisions. Much less don't put other people's lives at risk, much less your own. And I want to thank you guys for your time today, and I appreciate you.